Let's see feature engineering concept. We'll begin with loading the required packages and then importing our data set. Here we are loading two data sets, sales and employee details related to the sales. We'll try to connect both of the data frames later, but at this point of time, important to notice is these data sets are size are very small, and for the simple reason because these are not the actual data sets but the replicas of the actual ones. And these data sets are used most have been used mostly by companies to conduct data science interviews sample questions. Moving first to the first example, the we are going to create a new variable from the target. So, as you know, feature engineering is all about creating new variables, new features from the existing data so that the new created one correlates with your target variable or with your analysis feature very strongly than the existing in the existing form. Now, the feature engineering can vary, or its complexity can vary depending on which feature or which variable you are trying to transform, what is your end goal, and how easy or how many steps are involved between that transitions. And also, it heavily depends on the information that you have in hand at the start time. Now, depending on how much information you carry and how well you are aware with the business model and the business working and functionality, you can get this task done very easily. So always keep in mind feature engineering involves two aspects. One is definitely implementation one, which you can do using any language, not necessarily Python. And if you know few functions technical skill sets, that's sufficient. But to begin with the technical skill sets, of course it needs a lot of first understanding, business understanding. You should know what the variable represents, how that's related with your problem statements, what type of values you have to insert it or do the transformation to. These are the informations you cannot miss, and this is where business acumens are very important. Your involvement about the business model, about your data source, this helps you a lot to achieve this feature engineering. We'll try to understand this whole concepts with two examples, and I will try to explain to you why I categorize them into easy, hard, or medium category. What could be the possible challenges that you could come to know when you start working with the data, and in each of these cases, what you can do best to get your work done. Starting with the first one, we had to derive a new feature from the variable target. Target variable you can see here. It's a part of the employee data frame. This has two values, less than 50K and of course greater than 15K. So it's basically a binary variable. And I call this transformation or feature engineering as an easy step for the reason possibly the requirement is already given to you. So you are already told what you have to transform or create, how your new variable will look like, what values it will have. So this can come from your business or maybe your manager when you are in your early stages of your career. And so it becomes easy. All you have to do is go ahead and do that mapping. So you know when target variable is value has this string less than equal to 50K, you have to replace with the 0, otherwise you have to replace with 1. And here I have achieved that with the help of data frame apply method. This method is very very powerful, and if you are not familiar with this, you should go and explore. There are a couple of methods in data frame like apply, group by, and then merge. These are the ones who what makes data frame as a whole a very powerful tool. If you do not know either of one of them, you must know. Your level of effort will reduce drastically if you know these functions. Moving on. So what I have done is I have just called apply on the target variable, and with my rule that says if the value of the target is less than equal to 50k as a string, you return me 0, otherwise return me 1. And that's all I have done. And the returned values I have stored in a new variable called target underscore m. And here, if you see in cell number 6, I'm just showing few sample 10 of them. And whenever I have a target less than equal to 50k, the target m, which is the new variable, that has a value 0. And if the value is greater than 50k, then the value in target underscore m is 1. This is going to be true. I'm not going to show for all the rows here, but you have to believe me, it's going to work for all the rows same way. And you can try that with any other data set you have in hand and try to do this form of transformation with apply method. You'll get to know apply works very well. So I'm not going to prove here if apply works correctly or not. You have to believe me. Moving on. So, this is a simple task and it's an easy form of transformation. When we say transformation, transformation is a part of feature engineering, where you'll be knowing exactly what your input looks like and what should be the output, and all you have to do is build the logic connecting both, or right, and then call on some existing method. Could be in any language. If I talk about Python, it will be apply for me. Let's see the second example, which of feature engineering. And the second example, I say derive a new feature from the variable race. So if you again go back to your data set, we have a variable called race. Of course, there are many values. How many even I don't know. So that's why I took help of this visualization chart that is giving me their distribution and frequency. And then why am I calling this task as a this form as a medium or hard difficulty level? It could be both. Okay, so we don't know. As I said, it depends. I'm going to discuss those factors on which it depends. And firstly, it's not easy because we do not have the requirement given to us. But what we know at this point of time is we definitely want to do some form of transformation. If you are not sure what is a transformation, you can Google that. In simple form, transformation in data science world basically means changing one form to another form. One form, which could be original form, may not be in the usable form for the tools that you'll be using, so you have to do the change. Now, so here first what I wanted to know is for how many unique values I have in my variable race. So to do that, I just took help of this matplotlib and seaborn package to get the distribution. And what I see is, of course, my data set has more number of white race employees than any other one. It's way higher. Okay, but I'm not right now stressing on the number. What is interest to me right now is the distinct values, and I see there are 5 distinct values in the column race. Okay, what are these? White, black, Asian Pacific Islander race, and then American Indian Eskimo, and then other. Right. Okay. So I'm not interested in their frequencies, but maybe we can come to that also. Frequency can also play a great role in the feature engineering when you're dealing with such features. But right now, I am clear I have 5 distinct features. Now, um, okay, I'll take a minute to tell you why I think it can be medium and hard. So, here we do not know with what value I have to replace, but you may come up and say, okay, so there are 5 distinct values. Let's go ahead and replace white with a 0 or 1, black with 2, Asian Pacific race with 3, and so on. So, similar to the previous case, let's replace with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Well, in the previous case, it was a binary situation, so it was easy to design the replacing values. But here it need not be, because I can that can lead to various connotation or meaning for the model or your future on your future result. So how do you decide? So okay, let's keep it simple. I have a simple question for you. Now, this is your variable to you. Do you want to replace with 0 to 4, or do you have to choose some different values? My question now here it goes. What is right way to do this replacement? I have to replace white, black, American, Asian, other with some numerical values. Now the question is, what values should I choose? Should I just go ahead and choose 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the same order? Like, can I say I should replace white with 0, and then I should replace black with 1, and then I should replace Asian with 3? Can I do that? Eventually you will have to use some numbers. Now the question here is, what set of numbers? Primary question. And second question is, which number should be assigned with which value? So the answer need not be very clear. Sometimes it can be clear if you have some information with you, if you know exactly what your variable represents, and then you know how they are connected with your business, or the data source, or the problem you are solving here. But if you don't know, then this can be a challenging task to decide what values to be assigned with to which variable. And in other word or technical form, if I tell you, you have should go ahead and learn about the encoding types. There are two types, there are many. In fact, the two popular types is called level encoding and then one hot encoding. And my question to you is, which encoding should you choose here, level encoding or one hot encoding? And how can you decide that? So the difficulty or the complexity in order to decide how much time you take, or can you reach to concrete and some convinced answer, depending on that, this problem can go from medium category to the hard category, right? And this is very simple. It's so many open questions out there, but you can think on a broader aspect where you have very complex variable and maybe you don't know anything about it. It's altogether new and you just joined the company and you are asked to go ahead and think about it, come up with a solution. And then there where you'll realize you need a lot of business understanding to solve that problem, at least to some extent, if not 100%. So yes, I would like to summarize this video with that. You, depending on how much background, business background you have, you can do the feature engineering uh, with that much efficiency. But if you don't have background, of course you need to go back and learn the background before technically implementing this. Once you know, you have figured out the values, all you have to do is again similar to the target variable, just go here, choose this code, modify this logic, and you should be technically able to implement that transformation very easily. You don't need anything new. But yes, what should be these values? This is what you have to decide and focus on, which takes a lot of business understanding.